Week 9 of the TCR series rolls over to Japan's original short track. It's an all-time classic for many in iRacing, and it's another fantastic venue for this series as the TCR SOF series comes to the Tsukuba 2000. Welcome along to this broadcast of, as mentioned, the TCR SOF series, as we bring another early week race to help set the scene for the rest of the week of iRacing. I'm Howie Burroughs, and I'm alongside Jim Cunningham to roll into this 40-minute race. It's a little bit busier than usual on a typical free track. Very popular one in iRacing as well. How are you doing, Jim?
Doing great, Howie, and I'm excited to be here with you, man. I appreciate the invite. I'm just thrilled to be here, and it's some lovely weather in Japan today. It looks like we've got about 67 degrees and a light rain going on. Should make for a really exciting race. This track has been quite famous for drifting and time attack. I think we'll see a little drifting tonight for sure.
I would love to see you try and drift a front-wheel drive car, but if there's any conditions that are going to do it, it's going to be these ones. It's the, despite some misleading thumbnails in earlier weeks, and I'm completely responsible for that one, nobody else, it is raining for the first time in a race I've covered around here. Front-wheel drive cars, they're very unique in the rain. They are much more drivable than anything else you've ever seen before. It's a reason your road cars are front-wheel drive, but at the same time, it just doesn't make it automatically just free and easy. They get a little bit slippery, they get a little bit dicey. The rain is pretty even around the track, but you're going to have to watch that dry line as ever. It's going to just add a fun little dynamic as we have a decently large grid as they run into their qualifying session. As ever, they do 3 laps of lone qualifying on the road today, so it's always a little bit hard to watch these, but we'll do our best to hop on board with some drivers as we look at Michel Volker, who has been out for a few weeks. Our league admin finally dropping in to show us some racing. He's been delaying for far too long. So, it's a very short track and a very tight track, full of some pretty nasty and tight hairpins. These front-wheel drive cars don't usually take to these very, very well, and I think passing is going to be quite challenging around this road. I mean...
Yeah, I think tonight, Howie, I think tonight is going to be probably the hardest race of the season to pass. This track does not have a lot of room on it. I took the Honda Civic out today and put about 20 laps down, and all I could think at every spot on the track was, how would you get around somebody here? It's going to be tough. This is a great little track, and it's certainly not about horsepower here tonight. You got to be able to get these cars to rotate. So many of these turns are very tight, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Maybe the greasy conditions mean the rotation comes for free. I don't know why I'd say something like that in my life, but maybe that's the only way you can get your car to turn around here. I'm obsessed with this track whenever it shows up for the Formula V's, by the way. Absolutely iconic, but it is going to be very strange in these cars because it's very hard to get runs. I would say you might see some crazy dive bombs, but the weather conditions are unusual. And we're just seeing drivers come up across the line for their first laps. Michel Volker setting the first lap of a 1:07.8. I think we can do better, but the margins in these in the practice laps were unbelievably close. Another strong performer was Nathan Lee, who, thanks to the magic of lone qualifying, is actually invisibly far further down the track. It looks like it's running his first next time lap now as Lucas Rella in the good old Burger King Veloster that I shout out every time it shows up. I'm begging him to come back. Hasn't quite met the pace yet in the rain. Aiden Kale secretly behind, going a little bit faster. These laps are going to start coming in thick and fast, and I'm going to do my best to try and bring them to you. It's never easy, but we'll do our best. How about How about some of that? That will probably do. Nathan Lee about to cross the line for the first time. A little bit of looseness on the rear. Drivers might be using that dry line that's slipperier than usual, but it's not going to be a lap impressive enough to land right now, as it's the P3. Plenty more chances for all these drivers. They get one more than iRacing usually gives them.
That's actually about 2.5 seconds off of his practice time. He was running 106s in practice, low 106s. So I think there's some more speed out there. They're probably just putting down a banking lap right now because you don't want to be starting at the back of this field tonight. So I think you'll probably see them pick up on their next two laps a little bit. I think we're going to see some low 106s up front tonight.
It's going to be very dependent on conditions and dependent on drivers making mistakes like that. Apologies, 1 second as we just bring the overlay, the lap times back. The wonders of technology always impress right when you need them most. Back to our timing tower. Indeed, back to our timing tower. As we are on board still with Bryce Allen, who we did just see make an unfortunate off into a barrier under the slippery conditions. We do have more time, thankfully, to make up those gaps, as it's Aiden Kale setting the next best. And JB Deje looks like he's running into the pits. Let me just bring this one back for you. I know you can't all quite see this one at home. We're back. Don't say I don't deliver. Aiden Kale. Aiden Kale.
Yeah. Set all their laps.
Aiden Kale running up the top.
The session should automatically advance.
That's a great reminder.
To myself, but I forgot it just does that.
That's a great reminder to turn that down. Thank you very much.
Don't advance it yet.
There we
Mitchell
go.
Walker's got a lap in the 106s now. Nathan Lee, they're bringing him down.
Yeah, it looks like only a few laps left to go. Nathan Lee's got a bit of distance to make up on that lap of 0.638 behind. If I dare press the compare button again, I think the demons from the Outer Realms are going to capture the stream today and send it into the abyss, so I'm just not going to touch that one. Improves upper position to 6.5. It's Aiden Kale who is definitely the fastest. Rickshan Zhao also having set a time, and that one ain't going to count. Going wide on the corner. Some drivers that haven't been able to set theirs. Bryce Allen, usually one of the fastest racers out there, but hasn't been able to get a clean one yet. He's run 2 and still not getting it hooked up. He's on track though, so if I can just see if he makes it through this final corner. This ain't going to be a fast time, but 3 drivers here haven't even set any at all. So as long as he can, that's not going to do it. The chronic case of the front wheel drive understeer, Bryce Allen's going to miss all 3 qualifying laps. And you want to talk about drivers starting out from the bottom? Well, you don't want to do it here, as you've very much mentioned. And some of our faster drivers look like they might be having to deal with that.
Yeah, I think the good thing, if there's any, is it's not a huge field tonight, and there's probably going to be some disparities in the time with guys running off track and whatnot. So there'll probably be, hopefully the guys in the back that are quick, they'll find some gaps and slide through there. I think you might see some good old American short track type racing tonight, even though we're on a road circuit. They're going to kind of send it in there next to each other and probably bump a little bit in the turns when they go to pass with how slick the conditions are. But it's going to be fun and exciting. I'd be thrilled to watch that tonight,
Well, that's really a lot of what touring car racing is about, fundamentally. These cars get to bump and bang more than anything else. Bryce Allen looks like he might be able to complete this lap if he can just make it around this corner. It's been a problem for him in the past. It is drifting. We're seeing the Tsukuba Tokyo Drift Special. He's going to miss it and go inside into the pit lane instead. Bryce Allen, that's painfully unlucky.
I thought he was going to slide it in there backwards. To his pit stall. That would have been impressive.
Rickshan Zhao trying to improve on this lap as well. Last lap was difficult, I would say. But definitely, this is his last chance to not make a horrific mistake over here. Through this tricky final corner that is catching people out, even with them on their own right now, let alone next to other cars. That's a clean run of it. That's a clean run of it. Rickshaw Zhao is going to make it across the line, not improving his position, but clearing 2 seconds. Bryce Allen, does he even have clean laps left? I'm not sure that whatever he does, this will be considered a clean lap. To be honest, my short answer is I'm cheering for him, no matter what. Let's go, Bryce. Let's make this final turn. We know what you're capable of down here. You're going to have to do this for 40 minutes, so you better be able to do it by yourself. You better be able to get this. He's off the dry line. He's off the inside. I think he might have hooked this one up. I don't know if it's a clean lap, but it's proof that it's possible. I mean, the last lap was a 1:17, and it won't even count because of the incident, but all the laps of practice are better. I mean, Rickshaw Zhao's still running around just... Rickshaw Zhao's done with legal laps. You only get 3, and is just running around to get one more shot at this final corner. I can't wait to see cars go side by side into this. This is going to be an absolute nightmare.
It's going to be great.
Nightmare all great. Nightmare for them, great for us. I mean, why? I wouldn't debate otherwise. Shouldn't debate otherwise. That locks in on starting grid, and we can quickly run through. Well, that was a struggle at the best of times, but it's given us a great Aiden Kale starting on P1 next to Nathan Lee in P2, Mitchell Volker in P3 with JB DJ in P4, finally getting that name right. Thank you, Lucas Radler in 5, Rickshaw Zhao in 6th, and he's then behind the drivers that couldn't quite set a time: Bryce Allen, Kurt Bassler, Evan Adams, and Taylor Krug. Not a name I have seen yet in these broadcasts. Love seeing new names show up to these events. Might not have been the first time ever. Let me get the live timing kicked off for you again, by the way, for your benefit. This time I'm being cooperated with. It's this league that curses the software to find a new way to break every single time.
Well, it wouldn't be challenging and fun if there wasn't something going on behind the scenes.
Everything is a catastrophe. Everything is a catastrophe. I've been informed that it is Welker and it's not Velker. I've lived in Germany for 6 months, so I've just been making dangerous assumptions this whole time. It's Mitchell Welker. We have it. It's a lock. As we drivers line up, it's Aiden Kale on the right and Nathan Lee on the left.
Green flag, green flag.
You don't listen to him, you listen to me. It's green, green, green. Both drivers get a good launch, but it's Nathan Lee who's significantly ahead. JB DJ just behind with Mitchell Welker on the outside. Nathan Lee cleanly makes it through lap 1. Is the whole field going to be able to do it on that first turn? They are. They're taking it so easy. Side by side now, Mitchell and JB. Try and watch out for those curbs. Everybody is just absolutely terrified right now. Aiden Kale looking up the inside of JB to J. Still not making ground. Positions back Lucas Rella, Evan Adams, Bryce Allen and Rickshaw Zhao. And still no major incidents. The drivers are mostly running single file out on the road. Aiden Kale looks like he's going to try and make a move done. Little bit of contact, little bit of... That's a NASCAR style move. He's just done the Martinsville in the wet. A bit of unsettling. Force his way to the inside. Aiden Kale now, it would be a drag race down the line, but JB DJ still looks like he has the advantage. That all important final corner. This has been a real struggle for people so far. Nathan's through. Mitchell's through. JB and Aiden are through, and Aiden's still going to look like he wants to try and catch up this inside. He's not done at all. He's got the move. Trying to make the dive. Covered off in time by JB to J. It's a clean start, and most drivers keeping their positions, but this is going to be racy.
Yeah, Kale's putting his nose in there. If he's probably trying to get DJ to make a mistake, but he's going to capitalize on it. He is definitely looking for a way around him, and you're right. He definitely laid a fender to him there and tried to push him out of the way. I just don't think he could get the traction coming off the turn to make it stick, but he lost a little bit of time there, but I have no doubt he'll be right on his back bumper here shortly.
I think it will be a game of waiting for mistakes here, to be honest. Although, is it waiting for mistakes, or is it praying you don't make your own mistake yourself in conditions like this?
I mean, but these good drivers, man, they know where to put the nose of their car to get somebody driving out of their mirrors. And in these kind of conditions, if you get caught driving out of your mirror, you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna, miss your braking point or something, and overdrive one of these corners, and that's all it's gonna take.
Very true indeed. Very true. I'm not the sort of person that will make these moves, but then again, that's why I'm here and not there. These drivers love their competitiveness, and they love a good battle. The top four have pretty conclusively pulled away here. Aiden Kale looks like he has made the better of a JB to J up ahead, who did just make a small error. Is it going to be big enough to capitalize upon? He makes a bold sweep around the outside. He does have the exit speed. He's taken the faster line. That's P3 for free. Now, if I know anything about JB to J, it's that he doesn't let this go for free. This is going to be a battle going on for quite some time.
I think what happened there, Adrian Kale got off of the regular racing line and probably found a little more water, which these tires sometimes like, and it looks like he got the traction and was able to make it stick on the outside, which is really impressive in these conditions. That was a nice move.
See if I can just see what Aiden would have spotted. It was just a horrible exit there for JB to J up ahead, and that just gave him the side by side. That was a real, I call it an unforced error there. I want to try and see what JB to J really saw from there. Maybe this will do. This will help me see. It doesn't look like much, does it? It looks like so little, but the difference in exit speed, it speaks for itself. I mean, there's nothing else to really
I'm not
say.
sure. I'm not sure that he didn't put a little bumper to him there. He saw him, starting to get a little loose there, and he might have laid a little bumper to him to help him get a little loose. But either way, that was a great move.
Another thing that just happened, by the way, here's Evan Adams. He's not had the easiest run so far, but I've heard that he's just made it into the pit stop, and it was a snap, and it was the Audi killer again. I'm sorry we keep catching you doing this, Evan. I'm really, really sorry. This is
Look, I own the Audi too. Let me tell you what, that is a tough car to drive, and especially here, it would be tough in these conditions. That's a tough car to drive, man. That Audi is brutal. I was surprised when I got in that Honda Civic today how much easier it was to drive than that Audi, for sure.
Absolutely. If there's one thing the Audi does, other than abuse you on the curbs, is also abuse you on the brakes and abuse you on the everything. Now, this is a very Hyundai-heavy field. They love these cars, and I love them too. The Elantra is the typical pick, as now Aiden's trying to play the same games with Mitchell Welker here, trying to use his little bumper to get these positions. He really knows what he's doing around here. I mean, we just came out of Martinsville for NASCAR, and it almost feels like some of these drivers just got out there and are like, yeah, watch me, man. I know what I'm doing. It's an EST league. We're Americans. We do the same thing. I'm stereotyping. I'm doing the British stereotyping thing.
That is absolutely, though, American short track style racing. You're right on each other's bumper just like that, and it's just the slightest little nudges, and it's accepted. It's not, it's not knocking somebody out of the way. It's just trying to create a little space for yourself, and that's the way they race, and that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing right there, and that's a classic example of American short track racing. Saturday night, short track racing.
If there's any cars that are the best at it, it is these. They owe to their stability as Aiden Kell makes the dive bomb through. There is a little bit of contact as they go side by side, almost pushing Mitchell out of the way. Hayden absolutely forcing his way through the field as physically as possible.
That Hyundai of Welker was a great break right there. He used Welker's... Walker's coming back on him right here, making a move on the inside.
He's not done at all. All four same cars, all four very different drivers. Mitchell Welker, he wants a little bit of revenge, I think, for what's just happened to him. He's going to need to make a really good lap, though, here. And it looks like something is wrong.
That's
something's wrong.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And that's more than just a slowdown penalty. I imagine that's hardware.
Yeah, that looks like a connection issue or a hardware issue. Yeah, that's unfortunate too, because that was shaping up to be a really nice battle right there, those two.
Yeah, we'll
have to see if Adrian Kale's moving right up on Nathan Lee too. He's not wasting any time at all.
If anyone's going to make it happen, it's Aiden. He's forced his way up after that slower start and rougher qualifying, but he's got this consistent lap-to-lap race pace. He's running around the others in clear air. Apparently, Mitchell ran out of fuel. He did not fill up properly in the car, so he's in the pit lane, and he probably will make his way out and try and run all the laps he can. That is some horrific luck.
I tell you what, don't anybody out there watching this, don't laugh at him. It's happened to me, and if you do this long enough, it's going to happen to you.
More embarrassing things have happened in League
Oh
broadcasts.
My goodness.
That's JB to J. He's just completely lost it under his own power.
Yeah. He tore the front end up on that car too. Do they have a fast repair in this league or no?
Absolutely none. We've seen one driver knocked out. We've seen another just make it there. Let me just let's get a clear shot of that one.
Yeah, I think it just snapped around on him. Yep. Yeah, you know what? That may not be as bad. I mean, he's certainly, out of the race, but he didn't tear it up as bad. He may be able to get out there and run some laps for points. Yeah, he didn't hit it head on. Yeah, it just got around on him. That happens. So easily can happen in these conditions.
Yeah, and I'm just curious as to what else I'm seeing. As are there reports that yes, JB to J driving slowly? Did Rickshan Zhao also do something, or is it just it's fibbing with me? It's fibbing with me. Okay, that's all. It's tricking me. We can return back to this battle. It's Aiden Kale and Nathan Lee now who've made a clear gap for themselves after the two of the pack behind have found new and unique ways to wipe each other out, and Aiden's doing it again. I can't believe he's doing it again.
He seems to have incredible car control in this rainy weather, man. He's able to kind of use the back end sliding out on him, and he's so far has it under control. He is doing a fantastic job. And I tell you what, he closed up a 2-3 second gap there on Nathan Lee really fast. Of course, he had pretty good control there going through the grass as well, running off track.
Every lap, I feel like it's the one way he does it. Every lap, it almost just feels like it's just going to continue happening. This is absolutely fascinating, just seeing the way this pack has been worked through. A little bit of slipperiness, but keeping it under control. But we've seen time after time, tiny slips now have led to absolute travesties. As JB to J, he's taking repairs in the pits. He might come out. Evan Adams burnt the engine. That's not going to happen. And Mitchell Welker is back out on the field. He would have to tow and get fuel done, but he is 3 laps down. So
do they have in this league? Is there a penalty process for incidents or anything like that? Because him running off track, Aiden Kale's been run off track a few times, and he's obviously had a little contact moving his way up to the front. I'm just wondering if there's going to be any kind of ramification for that at some point in time.
I'm going to quote the rule because it's a very, very important rule. Rule 1, their words, not mine. Don't be a dickhead. And that's pretty much it. It's a casual group. It's really a casual group that meets up to enjoy these races and everything else. It's a bonus. And did I just hear an engine blow up? No. I heard an engine blow up. All you at home heard that. These cars are still running. I don't see anything. Oh, there is a car that's
Oh
dead.
my goodness!
There is. It's Rick Shinzhao's car. It did die.
It definitely did.
What are we doing? Oh, was it the same corner?
It was.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
The killer of engines.
Oh, yeah.
I
That one got it. Ooh.
I've never seen them like happen quite this much. Back a little bit more. Here we go. Oh, just not making the corner, and then that block there just blows you up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think he got his right side tires on the painted rumple strip area there, and I think it just cut loose, got out from under him.
This is just I feel like I'm just witnessing like a mass slaughter right now.
He does seem to be having a small relationship with that barrier right there. It's the exact same block in the barrier both times.
It's a different driver this time. That was Rick Shinzhao.
Oh, that was.
We've seen JB DJ hit that. We've seen Edwin Adams hit that. We've lost half the drivers.
It's a Hyundai magnet over there.
It's easy to be a Hyundai magnet when everybody's on the Hyundai, but it's certainly I'd say a claimer of souls on the road. This has just been this has just been. I feel like I'm witnessing just like a horror scene from a series where they kill off all your favorite characters one by one. Like, usually we get back 1 or 2 wipeouts, but I think I'm gonna say Mitch. I think he knew what he was doing when he set Tsukuba to rain. He was like, I'm gonna get him. Yeah, another thing worth pointing, JBS pointed out in the chat, is that they do give you penalty championship points for hitting 10x. So, and that has hit people quite a few times.
Yeah, given that, I was about to say, for this series with no penalties, I love Aiden Kale's driving style in this rain. If there's no ramifications for putting a bumper to somebody or running off track, and if you can maintain control, it's a great strategy. But not if there's penalty points down the road, then that changes, that perspective of that a little bit. But I can't help but the kind of driver I am. Everything I've ever done in my life was aggressive. I was, at whatever, golf, tennis, whatever. I played aggressive. Baseball, whatever. And I love his driving style. I love that aggressive, stick your nose in there kind of style. I was never a calculating driver, so I gravitate to that style myself. I love it.
Well, a little bump and run shouldn't be a 4x. Like you really need to. 10x is a very low count, but still you need to rack up. You still need to rack up 4x's, and if you're bump and running properly, you should be getting away about the 4x's. But as another, I'll just read out their other rule. This leave for his enjoyment above all. If you encounter a problem on track, talk it out. I will only step in if it's egregious. I do not have time to babysit your on-track issues. I think this driving is within the standards of what we've seen, and people don't really hold grudges too much here. And people don't really. The attitude among the drivers here has been fantastic. So, I'm going to.
Nothing that he's done right there tonight would warrant anybody being upset about. That's just good aggressive driving. That's nothing wrong with that.
That's what TCRs are great at, but I'm just amazed he's getting away with it in the rain. If I was in the rain, I would not use the bumper because I'd be scared I'd be sending people to the Shadow Realm. But
to be honest,
Aiden's been perfect.
Everybody he bumped along the way didn't lose it either. These guys are doing a great job of controlling these cars in these conditions. Obviously we've had some incidents, but most of them were solo spins or whatever, where they were racing bumper to bumper and bumping each other. We haven't seen, any incidents so far, really.
Yeah, there's not really been anything of that nature. So yeah, I think it's just been fantastic. TCR Racing is known for being a little bit physical. It's sort of like some of the Americans wonder how we live with ourselves like this, when really TCRs are where we get the aggression out, if you know what I mean. So TCR Racing is where the aggression comes out. So we definitely know what it looks like, and it's in these sorts of races. Aiden Kell looking to try and make this pass happen soon. These cars aren't drafty in the best of days, and the straight is super slow. I do want to shout out the Bryce Allen fight with Lucas Rella behind. It has been
they're
quite good as well. But I can't look at two things at once today. Bryce Allen's all over the rear of Lucas Rella, who has made up quite a few positions, quite fortunately, I think, after quite a rough qualifying out there. And that one could evolve soon. We're going to keep our eye on P2, but let me just tell you guys back there, I see you. He's almost going for it. He's almost got this.
He's like I said, he's bouncing in and out, looking on inside, outside. He's trying to force Nathan Lee to make a little mistake here, or but I love that aggressive style of driving. Like, he's going. Oh no, he's just again showing him the nose. He was trying to cross him over right there, I believe.
Outside there doesn't work terribly well. In a pub race, this right here would end in a spin, but these drivers are better than that. Side by side, Aiden Kale's ahead, but this line runs so wide. They're both running complete opposites around there. Nathan's going to keep the advantage going in, but Aiden, it's going to be a drag race. He's going faster, and he's going to possibly try and make this outbreak. He has the advantageous line. He's going to force Nathan as wide as possible, and well, that's the no contact way to get your P1. It's not quite over. It looks like it's almost over. Nathan's not done. Nathan feels like it's not done.
That was a fantastic move by Kale there. He absolutely knew what he was doing there. He took that outside line, and he used that to get a run off the corner, and then he crossed over and went to what would be the inside line. That was a fantastic textbook move right there.
I'd love to do nothing more than get another view of that, because that was some fantastic fighting.
Yeah, see, he sets him up right here. He's out on the outside, and all he's trying to do, he's not trying to pass him here. He's just trying to get a run on him and get a good run off this turn. See, he's way out wide. Now he's going to cut it all the way back to the inside. And look, he's flying right now. He's 10 miles an hour faster than Nathan is right there.
It's just about getting the good line. If you force someone wide here, they're done. They're out of here.
That was beautiful.
That's some truly epic racing. And if he,
I probably need to save that replay. I need to learn that myself, because I sure can't do it.
And if he keeps this win, I'm only saying if he keeps this win, because anything can happen in the slippery rain. But if he keeps this win, then this will be one of the most deserved wins I've seen so far in a league race here. This has just been absolutely stunning work, and already the gap is out to almost a full second. Aiden now wants to set down lap after lap after lap. He has the fastest one so far. So it's all go, go, go for now until the pit stops roll in fairly soon. These don't always change the complexion of things, but sometimes travesties occur in the pit lane like you've never seen before, trust me. So,
what position did he start in?
I'll need to check that one. I can work this one out. I know I can. Somewhere.
Because he worked his way up through the field beautifully. I mean, picking off one driver after another and just closing the gaps. I mean, I know this race is a long, long ways from being over, but that was a fantastic piece of driving right there.
It's been gain after gain after gain after gain. Can I get it there? So who's gained the most positions over the lap? Well, it's suggesting that Aiden may have started out in front, and that my memory is suffering me so much. I would need to check that. It feels like it needs a fact check, that one. It feels like it needs someone to drop in and tell me the truth on that. I'm trying to grab the qualifying results, but I'm learning things as much as everybody else is here. I'm just clicking around, just trying to desperately pull it out.
Well, if he did, he went back because we watched him pass 3 or 4 guys moving up through the field. So, even if he did start up front, he got pushed back.
Aiden Kell did start on P1 and he got pushed back.
Yeah, well, he did a fantastic job of working his way through that field.
I'm just checking.
There he is, right there.
The race start.
We
got eaten up. That's how we forgot about him.
Yeah, he got a terrible start. Look at that.
absolutely. Yeah, he just got. I was so focused on the drivers that were in the start because he
Yeah.
just got absolutely eaten up by everybody around him. But hey, he got the fastest qualifying lap, and he wanted to make that last to first challenge real. I'm sure he'll tell us in the interviews that that was intentional. I know these drivers. I know them too well. They will tell me that it was intentional. I'd
Yeah.
like to.
It looks like he. These cars have a like a break point, or a, what do they call it? Like a launch trigger setting where you set the RPMs on them, and which is something I've only raced one TCR race, and that was a couple of weeks ago at the Nürburgring. That's my favorite track. I love the North Place. So
I hate it.
I love it. That's my absolute favorite track, man. So I did the TCR race there, but you know, I wasn't as focused on the start as, you know, the next 4 laps that came after that. But it looks like whatever happened, he stalled that car practically on start, you know.
The drivers are making their pit stop cycles right now, so Nathan Lee has just dropped out of the pit lane behind the others. The rest will be due to follow through soon, and all will make sense in the world soon again. So this battle for P2 is going to be a battle for P3, but I think this is where the next battleground of this race is. So let's take a nice little look at it. So
they've been running nose to tail for 4, 5, 6 laps at least. You know, we checked in on them about 4 or 5 laps ago. They're still running the exact same way, nose to tail.
Yeah, it's been less aggressive, but both these drivers are fast and they've been measured. So, you know, it's going to kick off. That's Lucas's pit stop. Bryce staying out, Aiden staying out. Now, I always have to emphasize to viewers that strategy is not of the absolute utmost here. Drivers like to just generally wait for as long as they can get away with, because they won't be changing the tyres in most circumstances. But it's interesting seeing the drivers split it. Sometimes they've come in all at once. This time, they are choosing to spill out their time a little bit. Aiden Kale, what the gap looks like when he comes out of the pit is going to be interesting. It's Bryce and Aiden left to go. So, and then it will all be made clear.
Yeah, they I guess there's no tire strategy in this short of a race, and especially in these conditions with those tires, they'll go forever.
But yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see, unless there's but as you well know, I think last week you had the leader come in and get caught for speeding, right? And,
very true. The memories.
40-second penalty. Yeah.
The best of times and the worst of times.
You know, I mean, so anything can happen. I mean, that guy was, I was just watching the race, and, you know, that guy had a nice lead. He was, you know, everything was going smooth, gets a 40-second penalty, and, you know, he disappeared. I mean, that can happen quick here, especially in the rain. You come in a little hot and slide in there, and
then it's the beginning of the end, especially because, yes, in these conditions, slowing the car down is tricky. So it's very, very true. I'm not really And
this is a very narrow pit entrance, so that probably helps, you know, because you gotta you can't come flying in there like some NASCAR pit or something. But it's so the fact that it's a narrow entrance, as we saw earlier during qualifying, when I believe it was Nathan Lee spun it and almost went sideways down the pit entrance.
That was just trying to make it out of that corner, and it just sort of became like a comedy of errors in itself. But
yeah, see, that's a pretty tight little entrance there, and
because you've got to keep it on that tiny little road the whole way around without making an error. Listen, all I'm going to say is, Mitchell, now's your time to come out and show you refuel and show them all. I'm saying you've got quite a few laps to make up. Dare I say an insurmountable amount of laps to make up, but all it takes is everybody else to crash the car. So get out there, buddy. I know you're listening to me. I know you're there. Don't let me down. That might be a bit too much to ask for.
Well, he might have needed that at that moment.
So, interesting talk from Old Navy here. So, for reference, last week, Nathan Lee's pants came down, and that is literally the reason he ran slow in traffic, and the reason he lost positions on the road, and his team mocked him in the chat for it over and over again. Now, so Old Navy says he's got a belt on, his pants aren't coming off, and then drops a never mind, okay? Now, he did just drop places to the pit stop, but other than that, do you know something we don't, Old Navy? Do you need me to check him up on his pants wearing technique? Or was this just, you know, a misunderstanding due to the pit stop because he would have dropped back? I mean, I need to, or was this just when he got past?
He's only 24 seconds roughly back, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
yeah,
about
24
pit stop
seconds.
loss.
Right. I mean, I think they're going to more than likely come out nose to tail again when this thing gets all settled out.
I mean, Aiden has been setting fast laps in clean air, so that's the real challenge. Yeah. He's still doing it. Why did we stop so early if these drivers can still do it? It makes me curious. I'm always on team stop as late as humanly possible. Lucas Rella is coming around to possibly be lapped by the guy that hasn't stopped yet. I'd call it an unfair advantage, but these sorts of lappings don't happen often. Is there about a 2-second advantage in each lap that's being drawn out here? Oh, yeah, he's just being passed, by the way.
But he is laying down some fast lap after fast lap. He is, even when he's out there by himself, he is running good, consistent laps that are a half a second faster than anybody else on the track.
As I pull that one out, the last 3 laps, they have been gradually slowing down, but they've all been in those 106s, and not everybody is able to pull off the 106 magic today. Only, okay, everybody has pulled off best of 106 before you correct me.
Look at Nathan Lee, though. Nathan Lee is running almost his best lap time. But, you know, they're one within 2:10. Oh.
It's time. It's time.
That's going to be a penalty.
Will it? Oh.
Yeah, that should be a pit entrance penalty, I believe.
I'm not sure how much of the car here counts. I mean, I'll check this.
He crossed over the white line and went almost back onto the track. That should be, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that should be a pit entrance penalty. Look,
Oh, that's not it. That's not how you do that. Oh, no.
Look.
It's over. It's over for Aiden. Yeah. Nathan's back. It's always pit stops. It's always the pit stops.
There you go. That's a prime example of what we were just talking about. You know, we'll have to see how this shakes out, how many seconds that penalty is. If that's 40 seconds, man.
No,
he's going to have.
But he has come out. I mean, in the wackiness of iRacing, he's come out just behind Bryce, who is the only driver that hasn't stopped. So I know that looks like a penalty deep in our hearts, but sometimes iRacing lets you get away with murder. Have you ever spun up the track, leaving the Daytona pit lane, and just lets you keep going? I actually think he's gotten away with it, because look at him now. He just made his pit stop like normal. That's a really, really good call, but I'm as surprised as you as to how he's just ahead here.
Yeah, he came out 6 seconds ahead of Nathan.
So that would imply to me that iRacing let him get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, that must not be there must not be a commitment line there that counts. Because I did the same exact thing at Laguna Seca, and I got a 40-second penalty for that. I believe it's. Don't quote me on the time. That may not be right, but I got a penalty for it.
Yeah, these can be really inconsistent.
I mean, of course, you know, we all have gotten plenty of off tracks that didn't count against us, you know, and whatnot. And you run across the line and you're like, keep looking over at your incident thing to see if it's going to catch you. But wow, yeah, he got. You know, I don't want to say that that the game, you know, cheated him or what. Maybe it's not a commitment line, and I took it that way. But it sure did look like he had an error there.
I mean, it did look like he had an error there. So, but apparently Nathan got away with it as well. I mean, and we're just telling on the teacher at this point. Miss, Nathan got away with it as well. Get him, Mitch, give him the black flag. Tracks are very inconsistent in this game. Tracks are really, really wildly, and that was an example of where we saw. I think that should have counted too, but clearly it did not. It's one of those days, man. One of those days.
I know that you've got demons over there in your replay file and all. Any chance that we could go back and see Nathan entering the pits? I don't know what's capable.
No, I can go that far back. It's just going to take a little bit of scrolling because a lot of events have happened, and the more that happens, the more it takes time to work this out. That's JB's pit stop. That's Mitchell's pit stop. That's Evan's pit stop. Rixion's pit stop. Nathan Lee's pit stop is the one we are looking for. Let me just grab the driver out, and yeah, he did it too.
Oh, sure did.
Guilty.
Okay.
Guilty as charged.
Play, you know, I mean, so either way, it was going to balance out one way or the other. So he sure did.
Guilty. That's Bryce. That is a
so obviously
stop, and we are back to
obviously that's not a penalty at this track, you know. So that's but it would have worked out same either way, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Nathan is closing this gap up. It's down to 4.5 seconds, so he's picked up a second and a half since Aiden came out of the pits. I don't know if Aiden is just taking it easy or if Nathan's laying down some rubber right now, but he's moving up on him. He's closing the gap. It's down to 4 seconds now, ish.
Also,
yeah.
Anyone that's still here, I'd like to apologize for any tech issues. I have noticed the amount of drop frames as well. I'm going to blame the rain because, quite frankly, this doesn't happen to me often. We'll try and work out what happened. I can't quite pull all the levers right now on the spot, but that's not your computer messing up. I'll take photos of that. That's not your computer breaking. There's a reason. There's a reason I took on a league first to test, and today's been a bit of a weird one. So just flagging that up. You all know it's real.
Let's go back and let's look at Nathan and see how hard he's driving that car right now, because he's working on closing that gap up. It comes and goes. He's somewhere between 4 to 5 seconds, but I'd love to see him get back up there. I'd love to see a few more laps of good hard racing. We got about 5 minutes left or so in this race, I guess.
These races can spread out just a little bit as Lucas Rella runs into the pit lane again. And for what? Did someone forget to fuel again?
They probably need to get like a milkshake or something, maybe a Whopper.
That's tires getting changed.
That is tires getting changed.
That's not normal on this day. Did something happen to him? It doesn't look like something happened to him. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the milkshake theory. Guy needed his Whopper. Guy needed his Whopper. When don't we? I mean...
That's understandable. I mean...
The king is looking down upon you.
A lot of these guys would probably be too young to remember, but back in the day, Burger King used to be flame-broiled hamburgers right there in the restaurant. They don't do that anymore, but... They sure did flame broil them back in the day. They were good hamburgers.
I thought they do use a flame grill.
Not anymore. I don't. Not in the United States. Maybe in Europe, but in the United States they don't do that anymore. But they used to. It was kind of like a flame pizza oven where it would kind of go through on a little conveyor belt.
Yeah, I've worked at McDonald's here, and it wasn't fun. And that kitchen, I burned myself so. I made it like a month and a half, and I was like, no more. It seems as if, by the way, my iRacing is like deeply uncooperative on one particular corner, and I'm looking at it back right now and going, every time it hits that corner, I drop like 100 frames. It's the rain's fault. I'm blaming the rain.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what
I
it
hope
is.
that the experience has still been watchable and still been as enjoyable as possible. And I'm working to deal with everything I can every week. Something new happens every single week to me. So it is what it is.
Nathan, he hung that rear end out right there a little bit going around that turn. He's driving hard to try to get there. Not enough time though, I don't think, in these conditions to catch him unless unless Aiden makes just a slight error, goes off track or something, and it's not that big of a gap. But with only about 3 minutes left in the race, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think he's gonna catch him.
Yeah,
And everything behind him seems to have kind of spread out, and
I can try and pull out the sort of average of the last 3 laps between these two, so that we can see how.
Well, Nathan just had a bad lap there because he got a good bit sideways and lost probably a half a second to 3/4 of a second. He had the rear end hung out there pretty good.
It looks like though he is consistently going slower every lap.
Yeah, he's pushing. I think he was pushing too hard there, and he was overdriving it, trying to catch him, which is that's all you can do with a couple of minutes left. So
yeah, just try and keep it on the road.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look, what a great run by Aiden Kale, man. Horrible start, drops back to 4th or 5th place, makes his way right up back through the field in the rain. Did a great job. He deserves to win this race. He was fast qualifier, and